Every breath I take contains oxygen, hopefully. But the exhale usually contains some cryptic message about sewing or fashion, maybe the next project. So naturally, I need to satiate that overwhelming urge to wear something nobody else has, or at the very least I can boast about making it. Well, I gave it some thought, and the best fashion statements are usually in the form of pants. Now that's obviously in my opinion, but I still think the coolest pieces of clothing I have are in the form of pants. The coolest, by far, being this pair of black jeans with some very cool embroidered decals. I believe the brand is pronounced Viscardes, but I have not a clue. The next pair of pants is from a brand called Kawa Club. Now these are amazing. I love how they look and feel. Cool enough, they're also modeled after the wings of a cicada, which functionally do nothing but look sweet. The third and final pair of pants are these patchwork sweats. I love them. By the way, there's no sponsorship or anything like that. I just love these brands and what they sell. But back to the task at hand. I have way too many squares of material lying around, and I need to fix that. And after just a bit more thinking, which I'm not really that good at, I think I have an idea. Roll the intro. We begin this project a bit late. I really did not want to show all of the individual strips and patches being cut, so I'm just going to show you me laying them out. Then after that, you just pin each piece together to remember where they are, and that pattern stays the whole time. Now the reason I don't do more projects like this is because I find this patchwork to be so boring. There's nothing that I hate more than just one repetitive motion. But they did turn out good. And that was the majority of the time consumption of this project, was just sewing all of this stuff together. But the most annoying part of all of this was just how many times I had to refill the bobbin. Pretty boring, right? Well, that took a while. Looks like it's time for me to go off to college. But hey, at least I drew some cool stuff while I was there. Oh yeah, it was also time for my bowling league. Well, that took a while. Let's get back into the project. Alright, what's next is to iron everything, and we're done. Now, I don't want to bore you by showing you the entirety of the next panel, so I'm just going to show you this part. Alright, now it's time to get into the actual clothing making part of this whole venture.
Schizophrenic rants.
These are the plans. They are a haphazard recreation of sweatpants with a cuff on the bottom. Second panel. Creating a separate shape for the pockets because I am not carrying my phone independently every time I wear these pants.
This is going to be the size for the cuff at the bottom. I'm going to cut it out of these two. And it's easy as... It is the next day. And I spent like 3 hours trying to make the cuffs for the bottom of the pants. Oh gee, that was tiring. Now, because I don't want to do that again, I'm going to do my best to explain to you how I made them.
The way you make them is actually quite simple. You lay out your cuff and your elastic like this, making sure the elastic is shorter than the body of the cuff. You pin both sides. Then you tack the elastic to the sides. You attach the ends of the cuff together, like so. And then, voila, you have your very own cuff. Now let's get to assembling these pants.
Sew the long side of the pants together, I'm going to put the pocket together. But I'm stupid and I cut both of the fabric on the same side, so the pocket's not going to be the right way around.
A couple videos ago when I made a pair of pants from a dress, you should totally watch that if you haven't, I made the pocket the same way I'm making this one, where I'm attaching the pockets to the seam and then attaching both sides together. Alrighty, now it's time to move on to the other leg.
orientation, so I'm going to try and stick the cuff onto the bottom of the pants.
All we gotta do now is attach the two legs together.
What's next? We have to add on the front and the back of the waistband.
And then we'll put elastic in it. That should be it. Attach the waistband, we are going to stitch in the ditch, which is where you just run a line of stitching through the intersection of the pants and the waist. The final step is just to get the elastic through the waistband.
Oh yeah, baby. These are looking sweet. Alright, let's put on for the test fit. Alright, these things are looking sweet. Check it out. Oh, man. I'm actually kind of happy with how these turned out. And they actually have a good range of motion. I'm not worried about tearing them or anything. You know what? For a first attempt at a cuff, that's not bad either.
All in all, I think these turned out great, especially for a first attempt at just any pant with a cuff on the bottom. It was alright. but one thing's for sure, doing patchwork is time consuming. Either way, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on